Hello, everybody, and welcome to Body Slam Your Ears. I am Steve Fall. You can follow me on Twitter at Steve Fall. And of course, you can follow the Demon at NYC Demon D1VA. But today, breaking news, Shane McMahon is let go by the WWE. We have ringside news to thank for this story breaking. Dave Meltzer has confirmed this. Sean Rassap is gathering information. Every website is jumping on this story just like we are. But oh my God, no one is safe. No one is safe, he said.
No one is safe. No, absolutely no one. But was Shane McMahon ever really back for him to be considered fired? Like, what is this? You know what I mean? I didn't even think he was, like, officially part of the company. The best part is that he's not enlisted as a producer, but we all know he fucked up the Rumble. You know what I mean?
I think that's the biggest story coming out of this is really the disappointment in the Royal Rumble is not just felt by fans. Clearly, it's felt by the WWE. And many conflicting reports about, like, Fightful saying, oh, he was a producer, but he wasn't the main producer. Another website saying he was the main producer. Another website saying he was brought in at the last minute and fucked it all up. So, too many conflicting stories. Too many conflicting stories. But clearly, the one that jumped out at me was Bad Bunny. And Bad Bunny was a different number in the Royal Rumble originally. But they kept changing it. And apparently Shane McMahon is the one getting all the heat, constantly changing Bad Bunny's position in the Rumble, which leads me to believe that you don't want to screw with a huge celebrity like Bad Bunny. And possibly Shane McMahon overstepped his bounds.
Doesn't it make you, like, realize, like, I personally feel, and I'm completely, I promise you, I'm being unbiased. I know everybody knows how I feel about Bad Bunny. But I personally feel that legends, professionals who wrestled every day for a living probably have a hard time, like, grasping on everything that they have to keep track of during a Royal Rumble match, when they're supposed to come in, how they're supposed to go out, and interact with the rest of the wrestlers. Imagine someone who's there just to do an appearance, who doesn't do this every day, right? Like, how, I mean, it goes to speak a little bit higher of his performance at the Rumble, like not finding out what the hell he was going to be doing until the very last time.
Right. That's, to me, very unprofessional. And I think that's the reason why a lot of this is coming out with Shane McMahon getting all the heat. Because what are you going to do? You call it Bad Bunny and be like, Bad Bunny, you weren't being very professional and we kept changing everything you were doing. He doesn't work there. He does not work there. You can give shit to Kevin Owens or Seth Rollins for not cooperating with what you want to do, but you can't give Bad Bunny any shit. So Shane McMahon clearly is getting all the heat from the negative press of the Royal Rumble and maybe because of Bad Bunny's involvement.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I would assume that people would, I don't know, prepare differently for, like, taking an F5 from Brock Lesnar, for example, you know, like, I don't know. The whole thing, I really felt that way. And the Royal Rumble is my favorite match. And I still am baffled by whatever it was that we saw. Because in my opinion, it was like, it didn't just feel like put together. It wasn't even a matter of your favorite coming in and not doing much. It was just like, it just felt like everybody was a spot until Brock came out. And we have had past Rumbles where things felt predictable, but it didn't make the match itself suck. You know what I mean? Yep. Like, I do think that as soon as we saw Brock lose the title, we knew what we were in for, but it didn't mean that the rest of the Royal Rumble match had to just wait until he got to that spot. And it makes me wonder, what changes did he make? What was really supposed to happen prior to him coming in and changing everything? Were we in for a better, more enjoyable Rumble? Because he could have, I mean, you had names in there where really cool spots could have happened.
Yeah, I honestly got, for me...
Also makes me wonder about, like, things like with Kofi Kingston. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but, like, even the spot with Kofi Kingston, doesn't that make you wonder? Like, think about, like, well, so many things were changed that even him was probably nervous, like, not knowing what the hell he was supposed to do when he came out there. Like, that could have messed with his psyche and make him miss his spot. Like, you don't know the mental stress that all these performers were under going out there to do a match that wasn't planned properly.
Well, Kofi Kingston went to Instagram and he posted a big, huge post about how, you know, people said you shouldn't have even tried that. It was too dangerous. And he's like, well, if I didn't try it, then I didn't know if I could do it or not. And clearly he couldn't do it that night. Right. Though Big E obviously was a sacrificial lamb to that because Kofi being eliminated so early made Big E and the New Day involvement didn't go anywhere. So Big E, when he was eliminated, it really didn't matter because obviously the spots in the match with Kofi involved were gone. So we had to just kind of improv as we were going through this. You brought up how would the Royal Rumble bet any better? Well, to me, storylines that were heading into Rumble in that match had no payoffs, even though they were small. The Rey Mysterio Dominic, will they, won't they? The whole Street Profits and Ray and Dominic kept happening over and over and over again. Shane McMahon and Madcap Moss tossing out AJ Styles, like those were not. What was that?
Oh my God.
Why was that needed?
I don't know. I
told you about it.
I don't even remember I don't know. I don't even remember Shinsuke Nakamura's elimination. You're Intercontinental Champion. I can't remember when he got eliminated or how. I was actually discussing earlier how I'm going to go back and, like, I want to rewatch Rollins and Roman because obviously I was there live and, you miss a lot of things. Yeah, I think I'm going to watch the Rumble just to see how badly it sucked because I'm like, there were so many things that they missed that I don't even remember how they happened. I remember being so excited that Shinsuke and AJ were opening, and then I don't know who eliminated Shinsuke or how it happened.
Right.
And that's your Intercontinental Champion.
Well, you're leaning really hard into Shinsuke. He didn't have any storylines heading into the Royal Rumble, though. But I see your point. You don't know where it happened to him.
No, I'm talking about your mid-card champions who need a storyline going into a 2-night WrestleMania. I would assume that Damian Priest and Shinsuke Nakamura both are able to get a one-on-one match, given the fact that we have 2 nights to fill in. And you literally could have started a storyline for them right here. You could have changed the fact that they have no storylines going in one night. And you didn't do that.
I think Damian Priest is another person who, heading into the Rumble, had some friction with Kevin Owens. And then when we got to the match of Rumble, we didn't really have any Kevin Owens, Damian Priest, big moments. I felt like again, right. There was just so much of this Rumble, all this heat, all this storyline that went nowhere with so many stars. Everyone's given the heat to Shane McMahon, according to what you're reading online and through all the wrestling websites. So in reality, the failure of the Rumble, they're going to hang on Shane McMahon. And we've all thought that Triple H could never be fired or let go. Well, we saw the writing's always been on the wall because of Vince McMahon's, happy birthday tweets.
I know I made fun of that. How funny is it that we were making fun of how Vince don't care about Shane yesterday until they were reporting he fired him, just to confirm what we talked about yesterday. But I just, at the same time, you are a multi-billion-dollar company, and this is, if we want to argue about it, this could be your second biggest pay-per-view of the year, in my opinion. I actually like the Rumble more than I like Mania, as a fan. So I would assume that you have a whole year to plan it. Like, doesn't it make you wonder, okay, you're going to fire Shane, that's fine, but doesn't that make you wonder, maybe we should plan this in advance and then insert the players? Like, you could book this match in advance, months in advance, and then you slowly insert the players into their spots. You know what I mean? Like, I would assume that this level that starts your playoffs, right? Because I consider WrestleMania season the playoffs for wrestling. I would assume that you're not going to wait until 5 minutes before the match is up to say, okay, I wrote it, here we go, they're going out. Like, wouldn't somebody want to have like an eye over? I guess not. It baffles me how unorganized this company has to be at this point for a Royal Rumble match to be changed minutes before people are leaving gorilla position.
Yeah, I think it goes back to the old days of how Vince McMahon and Pat Patterson used to sit by the pool and write the entire year.
Right.
The entire year. Yeah. Like, here are your storylines.
Yes.
Here's going to be the main event of WrestleMania next year. How do we get there? Let's book backwards. Now, there is no consistency. And if there is consistency, you always feel like at any minute it could just be ripped out from underneath you.
I actually did a live report yesterday for Lucha Libre Online, cheap plug, about how they're trying to plan Becky and Ronda and The Rock and Roman Reigns for WrestleMania 39. And I remember people in the live chat were like, why are they planning 39 already? We haven't gotten 38 over with. And I'm like, I personally think this is good news. If they're trying to figure out WrestleMania 39 a year in advance, that means they're going to put some effort into planning it. I took a lot of classes in college for creative, and if you're going to write a story for a character, the best way to do it is to start backwards. So you need to figure out how you want your WrestleMania to end. Who's listing the title up high, and you work your way to that moment. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they're not doing that. They're booking these characters day to day. And maybe Shane McMahon fucked up the Rumble, but at this point, I feel like he's an scapegoat for a problem that has been going on with this company for a long time, starting with the releases. Like, the releases were felt. We didn't have surprises. There was nothing special, especially in the Males Rumble. At least we got to see Mickie James and some of the legends come back for the women. But you had nothing for that Males Rumble. Nothing.
Yeah, it's just, again, it's very unfortunate that the Royal Rumble got beat up by Shane McMahon's involvement, according to what we're all reading online. Though there's one post though I laughed so hard about, and it was like Shane McMahon backstage, and talking to Mr. Khan, and he's like, "Oh man, it's so good back. I'm so great to be back. Hanging out with my dad." And then Khan says, "You mean our dad? You mean our dad?" And then Shane goes, "Wait, what?"
I did say that. I don't know who texted me, and they were like, "Oh my god, I can't believe he fired his own son." And I'm like, no. He had Nick do it. That way at Thanksgiving, he'll be like, "Oh, I didn't fire you."
Oh, here it is. I found it. Local sound
God.
waves. Local sound wave. John Laurinaitis. Good to see you back, Shane. Shane McMahon. Thank you. Oh, it's so good to be back and spend time with my dad. Nick Khan shows up. You mean our dad? Shane McMahon. Wait, what? So
it's not enough for Shane to have to share him with Triple H and John Cena.
Right.
Now he has
it's
to
like
share him
we
with...
never we know through history and time, Shane McMahon left in 2009. He was off doing different things.
Right.
He didn't want to run the business. Once you admit you don't want to run the family business, I think your father has two ways to go. One, write you off completely, or still love you and just don't have you involved with the business. But Vince thought he could have both. I want my son, but I also want him to work for me. Well, he doesn't want to work for you. Like,
what do you think? What do you think? Let's speculate here. As fans, let's speculate here. What do you think is going on with Shane McMahon? Because his first return was I tweeted about it, was one of my favorite moments in a long time, probably one of my favorite returns. Nobody was expecting to see Shane McMahon. This is during the era where returns didn't get leaked, so we were all really surprised to see him. Yep. And I didn't mind his run with The Undertaker. I didn't mind his run as GM of SmackDown when he was with Daniel Bryan. I don't understand. I think maybe it was the fail of Raw Underground. Now he's salty. Like, I'm trying to figure out where did it go wrong, because I didn't hate Shane McMahon up until Raw Underground and the Braun Strowman feud. That's when I was like, fuck this guy.
Yeah. I honest to God, I'm interested to see what happens next with Shane McMahon, because the story that comes out right now is he was let go. Let go of what?
Right.
Producer roles, creative, as a performer, because we know wrestlers like Triple H, even Vince McMahon.
We don't know.
As a son, we know that some of these people have two contracts: performer contracts and employee contracts. What one was he let go of?
Right.
Producer? Creative?
I don't know. I still think it's as a son. I think it's as a son. I think he's gonna come out tomorrow and his last name is not gonna be McMahon anymore.
He's gonna get adopted by Tony Khan. The other Tony Khan?
No, his last name cannot be Khan either, because Nick will prohibit it. So he's got to find a whole different
name. Like, thanks, Tony Khan. Thank you. He's like, actually, I'm not your dad. You're older than me, Shane. Like, oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, okay, let me ask you something. If I would have told you 10 years ago, maybe 5 years ago, that Stephanie McMahon was going to be the most normal of the McMahons, would you have believed me?
No, I would not. But...
Why does it feel like Stephanie is the only normal one now? Like, when did that happen?
I just feel like Shane is the son who's always never interested in, and like he jumped off so many things to impress his father, and his father was never impressed. So finally, he just realized, you know what? F that guy. Stephanie's always going to be daddy's little girl, it seems. So no matter what happens, she's always going to be like, I love you, daddy, no matter what you do to my family.
What if he's fucked up from all those bumps that he took? And maybe that's what. Maybe he's not all there in the head.
I think he actually has brain cells in his brain, and that's why he's like, I don't really want to do this anymore.
Agree, but like sabotage the company. What if? Okay. Here I go.
The story is
about to speak right now.
All right.
Well, I was just gonna say, what if it's not a storyline and we're getting played? What if it's a storyline?
I've thought that 10,000 times with wrestlers being laid off. I'm like, oh, this person got laid off. Bray Wyatt out of nowhere got laid off. Oh, it's a story. It's a story. He knows everyone's getting laid off, so he's using this as a Brian Pillman storyline. I think, if anything, you will see Shane McMahon secretly at the Elimination Chamber.
But with this one, you're right. With this one, that the wording that they're using, let go in quotations, that's what everybody's confirming. Not release, not saying if it's as a, like you said, he said as a creative, he says as a talent. What is he let go of? So I think, wrestling gives us trust issues. We always think there's more to things because we watch wrestling. But I wouldn't be surprised if we see him show up again and Vince and laugh at everybody that's like you and I reporting on this right now.
Or like Austin Theory comes out and cuts a shoot promo on Raw about it, and then we say, because I was reading another story, Shane McMahon didn't want to fight Austin Theory. He wanted to fight Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. Are you fucking kidding me?
I would have been pissed. I would have been pissed if you weighed Seth Rollins.
You have a storyline with
Shane
Austin
McMahon
Theory.
is there
He's
for
hanging out with your goddamn dad. Hello? It's written there.
Right.
But I get it. Austin Theory's on the level of a Seth Rollins. Like, he's not on the level of Seth Rollins, but he's trying to, like, go up the card.
That's what I was going to say. There's a little bit of selfishness in the matches that Shane does chooses for himself for WrestleMania. And the last two, probably he might have not been happy before that. He got The Undertaker. He got AJ Styles, you know, and then they gave him The Miz. They gave him Braun Strowman. So this year he was like, nah, I want a top star again. I was wrestling top stars. What happened to that, you know?
Yeah. I know.
I don't know. His feud with Braun Strowman was total trash. Total trash.
Oh, I'm not denying that at all. But I do own a Braun Strowman.
I didn't hate his match with The Miz. I didn't hate his match with The Miz at WrestleMania when they jumped off that really tall spot. I thought that was a great match.
I did too. But I think we'll have to wait for some more news to come out of Shane McMahon as the days go on, because I think we'll find out more, you know, later today, later tomorrow, probably as the days go on. But Issa, thank you so much for being here on your own show, Body Slam Your Ears, on the NYC Demon Diva YouTube channel. Subscribe, hit that notification button. I've been Steve Fall. You can follow me on Twitter at Steve Fall. It's so simple to follow me. But Issa, she's got NYC Demon D #1 VA because DMX got her suspended on Twitter. That's a fact, folks.
Shut up.
That's a fact.
Shut up.
That's okay. We end the show the same way we do Monday through Friday right here. What do we say?
We say adios.
Adios.